Well, hey, good Friday evening to you guys. Welcome, welcome. I, of course, am your host, Bill Sylvie, aka the Dungeon Delver. It's good to see you all. I hope you're doing well. I hope you are doing extraordinarily well. God, there's something I need to discuss with you guys, and little conversation starter. Pardon me. Prime the old pump, having a little bit of Ace pineapple. The only reason I'm bringing this up is because there are people, and I read their names every night, but there are people who support the channel via Patreon. And I found out today that there is some serious data risk going on at Patreon right now. Now, every site on the internet, if you have something frontward facing, I don't care if you take a Raspberry Pi and host a page that just says hello there, you're going to have bots coming to look at it and trying to scrape data out of it. And anything that moves money around will do the same. So when I heard about this, it immediately worried me. It immediately troubled me. Because Patreon is how I make and move around the vast majority of donations that you guys send my way. Some of you folks, and I thank you for it, are on you're on Subscribestar. Some of you folks are on some of you folks just tip me. YouTube, and be careful what I say. I don't want to get a knock on the door while I'm trying to watch Alabama, Texas tomorrow. Let's just say that YouTube is more of a hindrance than a help when it comes to that. And look, I do what I do. I talk about fantasy role-playing games or have creators on to talk about their projects like we did last night with Luke on talking about his animation project 5 nights a week, barring anything that gets in the way. Excuse me, my eye is itching. I do it because I really like it. And you guys seem to really like it. And those are the 2 big reasons. I could watch social media for the controversy of the day and put up 5 or 6 videos a day screeching about how the SJWs are ruining X, Y, and Z. You know, have a little jaunty intro, a little cartoon version of me in the corner, and like Twitter screen grabs covering whatever it is, and do 5 or 6 of those of 5 to 10 minutes a day and just beat the algorithm to death. If I wanted to talk about Rings of Power, you know, like, oh, I reviewed episode 4 of Rings of Power, here's what I think about that, you know, I'd probably get 100,000 views on the video. Thank you, Mobius. I appreciate that. And I could do it. Conversely, to be politically ecumenical, I could become a bread tuber. You know, I could get over there with the control left, and I could talk about whatever it is they like to talk about. You know, do live streams and all that garbage. Oh yeah, then I'd have to watch Rings of Power. You're right, A-Wing. Or I could just do what they are and make shit up. And if they say, you know, well, that's not true. Yeah, I know, but this is a new representation of Rings of Power for a new generation. I should do that. I should do like a fake review of an episode and just hashtag it to hell and gone. And if people come at me about it, I'll just say, it's a new interpretation of their interpretation of Tolkien's works. I don't have the rights to everything. But I don't do that because that's not what I want to do. I want to make what I have popular. I don't want to go find a popular thing and then spend the rest of the short amount of time I've got left on this earth chasing popular things around the internet. It would certainly be more profitable for me if I did. I love classic Dungeons and Dragons and vintage role-playing games. I don't love complaining about things that I have no power over, except every now and again. I got to vent my spleen. You know? But given that that's what I do, and given that YouTube constantly fucks with me, Patreon, which I am very grateful for my patrons of, is the way the lights stay on, and sometimes the gas gets paid, and sometimes prescriptions get bought, and sometimes groceries get picked up. I'm not rattling the cup. I'm not crying. It is what it is. But now, somebody at Patreon has let some crayon eater start making decisions about their security. So I have to make a decision this weekend to try and reach out, because there's people on Patreon who I haven't seen in the audience who never contacted me, and they became Patreon. I love them just the same. But if I dig deeper into this issue at Patreon and I find out that they're, hosting this on a Power Mac 6100 running an unsecured copy of Apple Unix from 1996, I'm going to have to shut it off. And what I'm hoping is to find a solution where those patrons can keep doing what they do so generously for me in another another way, in another context, and then hope that they do that. Like, the easiest thing in the world is the fact that Patreon goes into PayPal. Just it literally just right over. Yeah, they both take a little bit of money. And yeah, PayPal is a crap company, but it's convenient. I have a PayPal card. I don't want to get paid in crypto. I don't want to download Wallet app and attach my bank account to it. It's about as shady as somebody from XYZ fulfillment company saying they'll send me my money in an envelope. So that's what I get to deal with right now. That's what I'm facing because some numbskull at Patreon decided to screw with their security architecture today. And it's not just me. It's not just my money. You folks who are subscribed to me on Patreon, if you just automatically debit it every month off of a credit card or something, you see what I'm saying? So that was such a wonderful piece of news I got today. I have to completely change the actual income revenue stream part of my live streams. Hope that everyone comes along with it. And then try and find a convenient way to get my money that doesn't involve some weird ass third-party applications, plural, to get it. Because love him or hate him, the card I have with PayPal is a Visa card. I can take it to the grocery store or the gas station or the doctor's office or read the numbers out to the power company. I didn't ask for this. And it's not y'all's fault. It's just lately, it seems like when I feel like I'm turning things to positive, they just collapse in my hands. And it really wears on me, guys. It really wears on me. And this is just another perfect example. But there's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing I can do about it. And that's what hurts me the most. Is I can't just say, I'm working on it. So that's where I'm at. That's what's going on this afternoon. But now that I've vented and I've kind of talked how things are, let us talk about positive things. As I said last night, Luke was on and we talked about his animation project coming up. That looks really cool. But tonight, we're going to continue on. We're going to keep looking at that rare copy, the tournament version of the Hidden Shrine of TAMOACHAN, or Lost TAMOACHAN, as it was called. So let's go ahead. Let's share a screen. Share a screen, share a screen, share a screen, and share a screen, and jump back into it. Now, we looked at the front and back covers. And we're going to look a little bit at it. The content So As this is full unobtainium, unless do a little Google searching to find yourself a copy of this. As this is pure unobtainium, I don't think we'd learn much except extremely notable things from it to dig down and look at a lot of the specifics of encounters herein. I want to look at the aesthetics of this module. But one of the things we get, I need a vacation somewhere else hot and muggy like TAMOACHAN. I live in the Medio jungle when it comes to D&D locales here in Central Florida. It will not be winter until next year. Like January. We'll have some cool days in January. Anyway, so this is a nice chart, and I think this was in C2. I don't know if this was in Ghost Tower of Inverness, the tournament version, because we don't have one to look at. But what we have here are all the 2-hit rolls needed to hit specific armor classes with any additional factors baked into them due to high or low strength or dex, and the damage right there. And then we have, likewise, encounter charts for each room for the monsters. Just there. Their hit points, their required to hit, the number of attacks, the damage they do, their armor class, and their saves. Their possible saves versus spells. The characters are just going to be throwing spells at them. So that's a very, very, very convenient arrangement for the dungeon master who's running this as a tournament. So we have some notes about given monsters here. Rats are only noticed 2 and 6, and then they run. Otherwise, they have surprised the party and will feel challenged and nip at intruders and then flee. Bats act as confusion spell and obscure vision so that a check for slipping must be made. They will bite and then flee. Vampire bats found with normal bats will bite and then drink blood. You thought the narrative. Yes, but is she an actual nerd girl or a fake nerd girl? Beetles are seeking food and will come running in response to noise as they are blind. Zombies will be blank-eyed and ignore the party unless the character is in the act of defacing the ruins or openly challenge them. Will-o'-the-wisp, they hang in the distance as a dancing light. But if its curiosity is aroused or it senses a dying creature, it will investigate the chance of a free meal. Basically, a coward, he will flee rather than fight. He will flee rather than fight, and fight only if cornered. Mandrills are not really apes, but rather ape men, semi-intelligent. They seek to loot trinkets and will harass intruders. Vipers only be noticed on 2 and 6. The party must save versus stone to be warned before the viper strikes, or else it will strike instantly. Killer frogs. appear to be normal bullfrog sitting in the corridor and will be skittish unless one gets close to the frog, at which point it drops its mild manner pose and attacks. Serval is a small hunting cat that climbs walls and ledges and attacks from above. Spider, a jumping spider that does not spin webs. His poison is weak. You save it +4, and it just results in paralyzation. Because I guess in its tiny, dim little mind, it figures if it can pull that off, it'll eat like a king. And we have a regular rogues gallery of great TSR folks here. Harold Johnson, Jeff Leeson, Dave Cook, Law Schick, Gene Wells. Art by Dave Sutherland, Dave LaForce, Gene Wells, and Harold Johnson. Then we get to this beautiful illustration. That is sumptuous. Look at that, guys. And that, of course, is Dave Sutherland's work. You know, a lot of people have unjustly criticized Dave Sutherland's work as not being that good, but honestly, take that in. I think that's gorgeous. My beer can. Used to be this website. I think you can still find it on archive.org, but it doesn't work because it required Flash. But it was called Bacon or Beer Can. This Jamaican guy. He says, beer can. Beer can. And we have the altar, which is just dangerous all by itself. The vault. Look, my ability to pronounce Olmec words ain't great. I'm going to attempt a couple of these, but not many, okay? If you guys want to play along at home, if you can read these, that's great. But understand, like, I did not major in comp sci, but minor in Olmec languages. Just know that going forward. So this is the vault of Chikomaztok. Chikomaztok. Or, no, they're long O's. Chikomoztok. Chikomoztok. The Palace of the Seven Caves. Then we get a little bit of text there. And there is poison seeping into this tomb. You are running out of air to breathe. So right here, we got that first encounter area. If any of the human or animal figures are removed from their niche and placed on the floor of this vault, the item will grow to normal dimensions and immediately the spirits of the ancestors will animate it. Each statuette weighs 35 gold or 3.5 and is worth 2 to 5 gold. Items taken from this room will merely be stucco and basalt painted statuettes. And then we got some interesting. Nothing of a fedora and a whip can fix. No time to argue. Throw me the idol. I throw you the whip. So the metal crook being held by one of these figures that looks like a shepherd. It's Looks like a shepherd's crook. It is the key for the door and may be removed from the figure without animating it. Once it is removed, it will grow to 2 feet long, weighs 20 gold pieces, and is worth 250 silver. Now, one thing you're going to notice as we kind of go through this module is values are given in silver pieces, which I found to be interesting. I'm not saying there's no gold in here or that everything, but a gem worth X amount, if there are any, I think would be given in gold piece value. But by and large, values are given in silver pieces, which is kind of appropriate for a Mayan, Incan, Aztec kind of feel. If you think about Mesoamerica and the Spaniards going there looking for silver and what happened to them. We have our first trap in the Hall of Thrashing Canes. I almost said cranes. They're bamboo poles that will slap characters, stun them, and pin them against a wall. This one is a lot of fun. This is a giant conch shell, and the bamboo staff leaning against it is the leg of a giant hermit crab, Kala, living in the conch. And there's a small crayfish. I had a lot of fun with this the last time I ran this. Etacutl is the crayfish's name. The crayfish advances and is heard to say, "Who is this who dares to enter the chamber of the guardian? You had better go, or I'll have to discharge my sacred duty. Be off with you before I lose my temper." He will wave his claws in an aggressive manner. Again, it's a crayfish that big. When I ran this module as an AD&D module, this guy and his encounter are in the actual print AD&D module. I think there's some more dialogue. This is one of those cases that I told you, my mother-in-law, who's fluent in Spanish, was so kind because I wrote the dialogue down on a note card or on note cards when there were things in Ullman, and I would hand them to her and she would read them. And of course, I knew what was being said. Nobody at the table spoke Spanish, but she had so much fun playing this tiny crayfish. Tiny crayfish. Yeah, now I have Google Translate. I don't know if Google Translate would pick this stuff up, though. I don't think ancient Ullman is a language you can pick in Google Translate. I want to see something here, and I'm not sure. This is Tlokas Popolokas. I think I'm doing okay. She did say it in Spanish. Oh, you meant back then. Yeah, but no, I get what you're saying. Yeah. But I want to see if there's a let's see if we can get to some more illustrations. Pretty pictures. Here's another one. This is Harold Johnson and Dave Sutherland, and I'm here for it. Giant slug. Again, not an illustration at all in the TSR copy of C1. And we'll come back to these, and like I said, we'll do more in-depth digging into the actual published copies of C1. And I think, yeah, is this the, yeah, there's the Nereid. The child of, I'm going to get this right, Zatzileha. Child of Zatzileha. And I don't think her alignment is listed. Nereids in AD&D are given the alignment of any chaotic. In her case, in the published copy of C1, she is chaotic evil. And it says right here, she may charm male once per day, which drives a man mad with love, diving into the pool to join her, where they will obligingly drown themselves, plus 35% to drowning. And I think, yes, we have a drawing here of her, and that is Jean Wells. Quite a lovely drawing, too. Let's see, what else do we have for illustration? Here's a great haul. This is, I think this is Dave Sutherland, but this is very, yep, right there. This is very reminiscent of the corridor in the Tomb of Horrors, the entry corridor of Tomb of Horrors, is it not? And we will come back and we will look at more of the actual encounter stuff. But right now we're looking for art. There's a giant rolling stone. Not sure that could be Harold Johnson or Dave Sutherland. Their art style is very similar. Or it could be David S. LaForce, because he did stuff in there too. And there's David S. LaForce. This is the Tomb of Pelota. You have to play Olmec basketball. I'm not being funny. You actually have to do that. If you touch the Pelota ball in the corridor, you have to make like a set number of hoops, or your party will be beaten to death by the Pelota ball as it bounces around. It's not a pleasant way to die. Let's see. Let's keep going. Do we have anything else? We've got to have some more illustrations than that. Oh, the brass dragon, with a great illustration by Gene Wells there of it. As you start up the stairs, you hear a scraping across the floor at the top of the stairs. Pausing for a moment, the sound is not repeated, and neither is any further sound. Easing up the stairs quietly, you begin to make out in the shadows at the head of the stairs a serpentine head of great size and shadowy wings. The figure does not move, but seems to be waiting for something. Finally, you proceed with caution up the stairs. At once, the figure's jaws gape open, and a withering blast of steam rushes forth from its gullet. And it triggers the trap. It's basically, it's either a stone. Let's see. I remember if it's stone or brass, but it breathes a gout of hot steam onto the party. Why can't Bodhi? That was the ball and solar babies. A lovely treasure pile, including a spider or beetle in the eye there from David S. LaForce. Rather nasty trap. As you reach the end of the corridor, your light flickers off a yellow pile of coins heaped on the floor. On the top of the gold rests a jawless skull, and the right eye socket of which is a black spider, where a black spider has made her home. Several bones are piled up with gold coins, and the hilt of a broken sword thrusts up through the mass. There are about 200 coins in the pile. This apparent pile of gold is covered with dust of a pale yellow hue. It is really a pile of yellow mold covered by an illusion. If anyone touches the mold, its enzymes will cause 1 to 8 points of damage. There is a 50% chance that the colony will release its 10 by 10 by 10 cloud of spores, save versus poison, or die if the mold is treated roughly. Igniting the spore cloud will cause all within 20 feet to take 2 to 5 points of damage from the burst. And that's a Dave Sutherland coatl there that your party can free and get help from. He does have psionics, but will not use them unless attacked psionically. Now, this is interesting. This is interesting here because we've talked before about psionics. If you look under monster entries that have psionics, and let's just take this real quick here. Do I have? Yes, I have the monster manual. Let's come over here and let's look at the coatl. That's dragon still. It's not going to be there. So many stuff in the D section. Demons, devils, dragons, dinosaurs. I think it's probably the weightiest department. So we have a direct comparison. Psionic ability, 60 to 110. Attacks and defense modes vary. So here we have exact notes, 2 major and 4 minor disciplines. But if we hop over here, 1 attack, 2 defense modes, and 9 disciplines. Versus 2 major and 4 minor. This is a little food for thought there. Did I? Oh, came back to the wrong one. There we go. And then we have some interesting riddles there, which again, we're going to come back to. I'm not just blowing through this. Let's look at the pretty pictures and stop every now and again. We're going to do a point by point. We're going to drill down through this module. But I want to, if you've never gotten a chance to see this art, whether you're watching live or you're coming back later at some point in the future, now you're getting your chance to see. There's another Harold Johnson and Dave Sutherland. Not sure who did which. But yes, you are not mistaken. That is an actual monstrous zombie centaur. Or is it mummy centaur? I can't remember. You know, let's find out right now. Let's see what it is. Okay. This centaur figure is the mummified remains of a sacred offspring of Chidzatlan, guardian of the gateway of the underworld, half man, half beast. And he will give you leprosy if you don't save versus poison when you're hit by it. Somebody is blowing my phone up over there. Oh, it's not there. Let us continue. My apologies for the pause. So yes, there is an undead zombie leprosy having mummy centaur loose. Do we have any tasty artwork more left to see? We have the character portraits, which we've already seen. We all care and Mira. I think that's it for the art. The character sheets. I always thought this was interesting. In Mira's kit here. And I never used this version, and off the top of my head, because I have actually not used the tournament characters, I've always used this character in a campaign, and it's been other adventurers. So I cannot recall if her AD&D character has an ever-smoking jug. So that's kind of an interesting, just an interesting item of like all the stuff you would think that would come up in a D&D adventure for an NPC or a pre-gen PC to have, rather, not an NPC, a pre-gen PC to have an ever-smoking bottle. I mean, I guess, pop, smoke, and retreat. And what constitutes a single room? Because when we look at the map for this, you'll see there's some pretty large areas. I mean, a room can be smaller than my studio, or it could be as big as a gymnasium. But this is, regardless, it's going to fill it in an entire round. Or fill it in one round, rather. Let's take a quick peek at the Dungeon Master's Guide and see if it was changed up any. It's a little more precise here. So it's 50,000 cubic feet in one round. But if you leave it unstoppered, 10,000 cubic feet of space each round until 120,000 cubic feet of space is fogged. This area will continue to remain so smoked until the ever-smoking bottle is stoppered. It can only be resealed if a command word is known. So yeah, I would think that would be pop, smoke, and fall back. Definitely a useful item. But again, unusual. But this is an unusual module. And the more we get into it, when we actually dig into the one you can actually buy, you'll see purify food and water. I think I know exactly where that may be useful. So that's it for the art. That's it for the really interesting art pieces that are in here. Do I have... Do I have the map, though? You know, I have a folder here. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can find the maps, and we can take a quick gander at those. And we will, at the very least, when we pull up, with the actual C1 and really start to dive into it. Let's see. Okay. When we actually dive into the meat of the module, we'll look at the nuts and bolts of it and how it actually runs. Where'd it go? There we are. Okay. So I'm going to give you guys a look at the map. And unlike the S4, well, what became S4, which at the time was just Forgotten TAMOACHAN, the inside of this is actually very well put together. It's got a lo-fi feel, but they definitely put some work into it. You know, it doesn't feel like, well, I typed this up on a portable Winchester, hand drew the maps, had these mimeographed the morning before the con, and then stapled the corners at lunch before tonight's tournament, right? This is definitely not got that feel. And let me show you the map here. So I think you guys are going to love this map because it is extremely well done. I'm not a fan of overworked maps. I'm just going to tell you that straight away. You know me. I'm a lo-fi kind of guy when it comes to my D&D. But these maps are great. So let's add this back. So right here on the inner cover map, Wandering Monsters, not for tournament use. Encounter occurs on 1 in 10 each turn. And then there they are. Rats, bats, beetles, zombies, will-o-wisp, mandrills, vipers, killer frog, serval, or spiders. But also we have some useful information at the top, talking about the hazards, environmental hazards inside the dungeon. Poison gas causes 1 to 8 points of damage per turn. You got to keep track. Slow poison, haste causes 4 to 5 damage that turn. Slow poison reduces damage to 1 point per turn, but if still exposed to gas when spell ends, full damage from past turns accumulates. That's brutal. That is brutal. You could literally get hit, depending on how long that slow poison spell lasts. You could literally get hit, just pow, and drop dead. Slipping, 2d6. Cancels any action that round. Roll 4 indicates a slip in mud, slime, water, loose rubble. A d6 is rolled. A 4 or less marks a fall and stunning for 1 round. Modifier +1 to both rolls if dexterity is 15 or greater. Spraining, resulting from deflecting heavy weights, save versus stone failure. And then it's got locations. Sprain arm results in -2 on 2 hit for several days. Sprained leg halves total speed and causes loss of carrying capability bonus for several days. And reduced speed may be only 3/4 of normal if aided by uninjured companions. Drowning, 5% base chance modifiers. -3 if dex is 15 or greater. 1% per point damaged. 10% if wearing ring, splint, or chain. 20% if wearing plate. Plus 1% per 50 gold piece weight carried. Failing roll causes sinking and 1 to 6 points of damage per round under. Damage minus con bonus for the first 3 rounds only. May unencumber oneself once sunk to try and sink or swim again. Cave-ins. If digging at, new rubble and rocks will fall in to replace old. Falling rubble may hit diggers if fail save versus stone, doing 1 to 4 points. 1 in 6 chance of being buried by rubble for 3 to 12 points of damage, followed by a 5% cumulative chance of suffocation, causing 1 to 6 points of damage per turn thereafter. Contacting lime, not the fruit, the white paste made from ash. 1 to 2 points of damage per turn with contact with flesh. Must be removed from flesh by washing or wiped, but cannot be removed from source. Salt will buffer the lime effect for 1 to 3 rounds. Acid will react with the lime violently and produce foam, spray, and CO2. Oops. Cloth and soft leather will be soaked in 0 to 2 rounds, and flesh in contact with soaked material takes lime damage. Armor and boiled leather will not be soaked, but will be etched by the lime. Those beneath falling dead weight, stores, statues, etc. take 2d6 points of damage. Now, let's zoom out a little bit. I love this isometric map section right here. And I could be wrong, but I feel that's the work of Dave Sutherland. He did a lot of TSR's cartography. Now, interestingly, most of these squares are 5-foot squares. So this is not all that giant of a dungeon. But drink this in, guys. How nice this looks. These are some absolutely gorgeous dungeon maps. Zoom in over here. Rubble-strewn rooms. I believe that is where you encounter the Coatl to climb its pyramid. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. That is just some absolutely beautiful map work, isn't it? We can go look at the key. So we have a rather extensive key. Of course, doors, secret doors, statues, stairs, up and down, archways, curtains, shelves or ledges, hole in ceiling, stone block, rubble, water, fountain, pit, etc. So this is just an amazing looking curio, and I'm so glad that I stumbled on this. And guys, let me tell you something. I mean it when I say it that we don't support piracy around here, but this is pure unobtainium right here, guys. This is ain't gonna find it nowhere. If you happen to track it down, I won't be mad at you. Now, the one that's for sale, the one on drive-through, please pay for it. So we're gonna look more now that we've looked at all the pretty pictures and so on. We're gonna look at some of the content and some of the more interesting rooms and sections in there, but not tonight. And why not tonight? Well, we're done with that for tonight, because tonight when all my players get here, we're going to be playing some Gamma World, first edition. That's right. We're going to continue with our Seekers and finding out what exactly is going on in Gamma World. But before we do that, I was just complaining about this, but I do want to thank the people. I wasn't complaining about them. I was complaining about Patreon and their nonsense. But I do want to thank the people who contribute to the show, whether it's on Subscribestar, whether it's on Patreon. Those who sent super chats. I appreciate it. I do. Never think that any of my, I will never come here. I jokingly say, and if you want to see the ceiling fall in on them, send a super chat. That's always tongue in cheek. I'm upset that there's a problem that could potentially cause me security issues. Has nothing to do with you guys. So, with that said, let me say a huge thank you to you folks who support the show. And that, of course, is Joshua Garlock, Lord Corion, Ricky Maru, Mobius, Kevin Reynolds, Doomsword Deathmaster, Mark Simpson, Damien247, James F. Keck, William Smith, The Dungeon Minister, Manny Wall, Mark Corey, Kevin Wood, Todd Sharp, Carnivore Farmer, Rob, Jeremy Rule, Boganora, Mikey Mank, The Sky Hernstrom, Pete Sullivan, and the DM's Council. Thank you guys all very, very much for your continued support. And we'll get through that. I mean, you know what? It may be much ado about nothing. Maybe I reach out to Patreon, or I find out that the security staff that they let go were all a pack of idiots or something, and that they fixed the problem. Maybe that's what happens. Maybe that's what I find out. We'll see. And Monday, we can all have a big laugh as we dig deeper into Lost TAMOACHAN. And then Tuesday, if we haven't wrapped up with it, Tuesday, we'll continue on with it. But the game we're going to play Tuesday is, of course, first edition Advanced Dungeons & Dragons. Wednesday, we'll be back with some Classic Traveler. Thursday, it's just me, guys. It's just me. If we are wrapped up with TAMOACHAN, though, we'll find another awesome one to start. Perhaps Cult of the Reptile God. I'm not super fond of N1 Cult of the Reptile God, but a lot of people swear by it. I'm kind of inclined actually to go more in the direction of Village of Hamlet rather than that particular one, but we'll see. And then, of course, Friday, we just find ourselves right back here. So, and just as I'm talking about this, I'm getting some follow-up news across my desk about the goings on and doings at Patreon. So I may have my pennies in a bunch for no reason whatsoever. Well, I may have my pennies in a bunch regarding this for no reason whatsoever. I have always got something going on that will upset me. So, and that's a fact. That's a guarantee. That's a Delver's Dungeon guarantee right there. Never you fear. Something will come up that will give me 1,000-yard stare again one of these days. I got that from someone back a few weeks ago when things were kind of going off the rails live on air. or had gone off the rails just before I went live on air. Somebody PM'd me and said, "You have a 1,000-yard stare. Are you okay?" I didn't even realize it. Do I wear my emotions on my sleeve that much when I'm on stream? I'm usually such a seer, relaxed, stoic fellow. TJ wants to hear Village of Hamlet. We can do Village of Hamlet. In fact, I'm leaning more towards Village of Hamlet. And let me state something unequivocally here. It will be Village of Hamlet, not. It will be Village of Hamlet and not Temple of Elemental Evil. One, I'm just not that big a fan of Temple of Elemental Evil. I'm not. Primarily because I know it's not what we were intended to have. It's not wholly what we are intended to have. The really good stuff in Temple of Elemental Evil, and there is some good stuff, Village of Hamlet, is Gary's. The not so good stuff is Frank Menser's. Jack says Hamlet is AD&D. I hear that in Con Noonien Singh's voice. This is the Village of Hamlet! N1, Cult of the Reptile God, exploded. This planet was shifted in its orbit and everything laid waste. Anyway, this module shifted in its orbit. Damn it. I ruined the whole thing. Let's start over. Hey, good evening. How are you guys? It's good to see you. It's good to be seen by you. No, I'm not going to start over like that. Well, it looks like everybody is out in the parking lot revving their engines up. So let's go ahead and bring our Gamma World Seekers onto the scene and say hello to the beautiful, and I would point this out, Miss Tennessee for 2016, James F. Keck. James, good evening. How are you?
Good evening.
Oh, I should put my headphones on. That way I can at least pretend to listen. There we go. Always so much more helpful. I love these headphones, but man, I think I'm gonna have to go like just the earbud route and lavalier mic. I think this is a bit much, but what do you think, James? Should I pare it down, make it a little lighter, make it a little more streamlined?
You do have a New Hope look going on there.
I do. I get, or alternately Empire. You remember Lobot, the aide de camp of Lando Calrissian?
You have shaved your head for that, though.
I would, and I do. I wouldn't look bald. I wouldn't look good bald. I would look like Mr. Potato Head. Some guys can do bald. I hate the guy through and through, but Jeff Bezos, he's good bald.
Definitely.
All right, and we have Barongo. Kevin, good evening. How are you?
Good evening. I'm not on the ballot for state senate this time.
You're not on the ballot for state senate this time. Well, I mean, but I did hear that you were 16th in line to take the throne of England. So now 15th. You're slowly climbing up.
Yeah.
And finally, a man wanted in 7 states for 7 different crimes, but they're all misdemeanors. Doomsword Deathmaster.
What's up, gents?
Not much. That growl. What's up?
Yeah. Well, I'll add that those 7 charges are all false.
But of course. And a man whose name is the same forward as it is backwards. And if you get that joke, you've looked at math and geometry way too much. Mobius. Good evening. How are you?
No. Hello.
Hello. Milo. Milo, sweet character. Now you might notice we're one person shy, and Todd is not feeling well this evening. He missed out on. I shouldn't say missed out. Like, hey, you missed out. You snooze, you lose. He was not feeling well on Wednesday for Traveler, and he's not feeling well again tonight. But it is always more fun when Todd is here. He is the soul of humor for the game, I think, personally. So we'll hope that he is feeling better next week. You get him back on again real soon.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
Todd.
So just clear out my queue here. So
You know, he could use our life chamber. He's just going to have to reroll his stats.
yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have any atomic batteries for our life ray down here in Florida. Unfortunately. All right. I'm afraid to use it anyway. I might come out uglier. So, one more time in English. When we last left our adventurers, you are on the outskirts of the ruins of a city of the ancient. You had fought a pack of rather badly mutated in an injurious way, not like they had wings and psionics. I mean, just like, you know, covered with sores and everything like that. Batters, and had relieved them of a strange device of the ancient, a sphere approximately 30 centimeters in diameter, or was it 60 centimeters? I can't remember, but it was large with flashing lights on it and so forth. And you're now in possession of it. So it's morning. You're on on the remains of some kind of bridge or pier or something that gently curves upward and to the left. And in the early morning fog, you can see the ruins of the city down below you. Your instruments allow you a little bit of resolution, and you think you see some figures moving around down in the ruins. What do you wish to do, Seekers? No answer? Time for me to roll dice.
We did come here for a reason. We just didn't get a location.
Yeah.
Due to our hasty retreat from our little safe haven. So, I think we want to get a closer look at those. What would you call them? Potential live offerings out there.
Could be.
I agree.
Sure.
Wait, why am I answering? I'm the game master.
Come on, GMPC.
Not for this. I don't have enough index cards.
Don't worry, stats won't matter with what's going to happen anyway.
Yeah. The points are out the window, and we're all up in the game, folks.
Movement rate might matter.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we'll. I mean, how far off? And oh, by the way, how do we get over there from here?
You would have to come down and then find another entry point into the ancient city. There's tumbled down blocks of the stone that has the brown metal sticking through it. You think it's somehow the ancients were able to make stone and secure metal inside it. There's chunks of that scattered hither and yon with weeds sticking up through them.
Does there appear to be a better vantage point where we might get a good look at what's going on, or at least a better look than we have right now?
Other than getting closer to the center of this place, you're kind of at the promontory overlooking it.
Right, and that's basically, I mean, we're basically right at the edge, and there's not a closer edge or anything.
Correct.
So aside from the crater, does the city itself look like it has issues? If I use ultravision to look at it, does it look like it has issues with some kind of EMF that we wouldn't be happy about?
It's hard to say from this distance. I mean, really strong sources, like strong enough, like, hey, if we get within a few hundred meters of that, I may grow a third eye kind of levels of radiation. You are, sorry, just rambling on. Hey, there he is. Sorry about that, Mob.
Hey. So no scopes on the laser rifles? Did I just hear that Barango has ultravision?
I have ultravision,
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
which helps, but yeah, it's pretty far away, I guess.
So there's a haze out there. I mean, they're in a city that's obviously been hit by a weapon. Yeah, your ultravision kind of extends to the range of your normal vision.
Right.
But the good news is, other than the sphere that the batters had with them, there's nothing giving off any ancient waves.
We head down. You see any actual movement? Any more batters down there?
Let's see. Well, you guys, you've got numbers with you. So numbers, you hear like a tumbling and crumbling down of stones coming out of. There is on the far side of where this broken bridge extends, there's a pier, and if the bridge wasn't broken, it would continue on to it. The far pier, which is about, it's about 60 meters. You think you see some movement over under that, and there's a tumble down of the ancient Pharaohcrete and so on. That you hear some folks scratching around, and you're not sure how many. Could be one, could be a dozen.
Look yonder, man.
Okay, what are you guys doing?
Well, so it seems like either we go back and drive around to find another entrance that's not on this highway or roadway, or we're abandoning the car here. Right?
Yeah.
With the device in the trunk. Can we lock it? Or
Remember where we parked, everybody.
exactly.
Yeah, maybe we could temporarily bury it.
We're in Crater 1A. Crater 1A.
We're in the radioactive lot, guys.
Yeah.
Well, we leave it up here and we go check that out, or we skirt around, either or.
I mean, are there other obvious, looking around just on the outskirts, are there obvious roads elsewhere that come in that we can see? Or
where you're at,
east or the west of where we're at?
Yeah, where you're at, no. But as you kind of look on the outskirts, further away, running parallel and or running perpendicular and some parallel, you see the overgrown remains of roads and streets ahead of you.
Bingo.
Okay.
Does there appear to be a clear path to get to those from where we're at with the car?
On foot, yes.
No, so not with a car.
Not with a car.
Never mind.
Yeah, I don't know if we got all of the batters, and this is really close to where the device was, where they last knew where it was. Maybe we should just drive it somewhere else, just so hey, let's look in here. That's maybe where it's at, kind of thing doesn't happen. And then
can we bury it
there.
perhaps? I mean, what's the chances they're going to dig into the ground looking for something that may or may not be here?
Well, they are mutated badgers, so they could dig it.
Digging's what they do.
It's the emissions, right?
Right.
This device didn't pass this emissions check. And that's it's just like, oh well, there it is. It's hotter over this way, right? I don't know.
Well, can we just throw it down and hide?
Hope for the best.
Here, let me push this button again.
I guess it wouldn't fit in that missile case we have, eh? How big is this circular ball nuclear atomic?
It is 60 centimeters in diameter. The box that contains the rocket of the ancients is much, much narrow. It's like 12 centimeters on a side.
Bummer.
Well, we might just be overthinking it.
Well, we do have this powered armor and powered ally plane armor. Why don't we just chuck it inside there and just bury that?
Yeah. I mean, if you're not worried about using it later, sure.
Well, I ain't using it after we can bury it. No. It's this is a one time only. It's use and discard.
Okay.
So while you guys have been discussing what to do with this,
Crap.
you've gotten your actions. Now it's my turn.
Man.
They got the drop on us.
There are well, they don't have the drop on you, but I mean, you guys have been standing around debating what to do with the world's most spicy beach ball. And so while you've been discussing that, a group of about a dozen or so they're humans, they're normal human sized, they're kind of coming out of either side of the pier. Like I said, there's about a dozen of them, and they appear to have spears, and they're regarding you warily. As I said, they appear human. They're wearing various bits of just ad hoc armor. What do you wish to do?
I'm going to train my crossbow on one of them.
Okay.
Yell out, back off, this'll melt your face off.
Chris is readying an axe just in case.
Okay, they are scrambling for cover, and some of the braver amongst them are setting their spears for an attack. And then some behind them it looks like they're ready to throw spears.
Don't shoot. You'll doom the world.
Why does everybody got to be so unfriendly?
Why couldn't you just say hi?
Well, we did point a crossbow at him, so I don't know. He might have been friendly
Well,
up till then.
That's true.
It's hard to say. But given the world is generally unfriendly as a whole, I'm not disagreeing with the behavior.
Given that I'm generally unfriendly as a whole, I don't disagree with my own behavior.
Yep.
Okay, so while you are... Let me see here. There are some of them that the ones that have set their spears against a charge. Let's see. They're regarding you warily, but with suspicion.
Chris will step forward and say, "Who goes?"
Are you holding a weapon?
He's holding his axe in his hand. He's not holding it ready to throw, but he's got it in his hand.
Okay. The ones in front, almost as a group, begin this sort of long, like monotone utterance in their throats, and you can feel it. It's like an uncomfortable sensation that you can feel in your bones as this group of 4 of them are looking at you. It's like they've got their mouths slightly open and they're staring at you, just sort of doing this ah.
Are they making faces and sticking their tongues out?
No, they're not.
They don't have these weird wrist-mounted weapons on their hands, do they?
They don't. They practice the weirding way without the need of a weirding module usul.
Like the original book.
Doomsword, what are you doing? I'm sorry. What is Christopher doing?
He's just giving him a strange look, and he holds up his empty hand like, "Please, we're trying to be peaceful here."
Okay. How about numbers?
Yeah, I'm gonna let Face there handle the
All right.
the dialogue, and I'm gonna shoot if there's one false move.
All right. What about Barongo?
I have my rifle at low ready. But
Okay.
I'm just looking at them saying, what are you doing?
Okay. And Milo?
I think I'm going to use my gas generation musk and put everybody to sleep. It's paralysis gas. I'll wake up my friends later.
Okay.
Nice.
We hear.
All right. So let's.
Tie up everybody and then wake up my buddies.
We're going to wake up and
All
the
right.
baseball's going to be gone. You watch.
Okay, so let's see. Could be obscuring gas, irritating gas, poison musk, blinding musk, and so on. And you're going for paralysis then?
Is there an Elon Musk option?
I thought,
There is not. There is not.
aren't you only allowed one or another? Like you don't have them all, do you?
It says the mutant may expel this musk or gas, causing repulsion. Suggestions. I will say it's an irritating gas.
Of course you would.
Hey, but it still could work. It's a 10-meter radius.
Maybe it'll
You just
get in their
picked one.
throats.
I picked paralysis.
Well, I tell you what, roll a d6.
All right,
High roll wins.
5
You win.
paralysis. Everybody's going 9-8.
All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to treat that as a strength roll, and I want it just to be an I win button.
Okay.
So we're going to roll in the poison matrix, and you're going to roll 3d6.
I need 2 more. Okay. 13.
13. So you got a strength 13. And although you can see there's a large group in front of you, there is a group over on the right that's kind of watching from a distance. This group, they immediately cough and choke and fall down. Is anyone here less than Constitution 11?
No.
Negatory.
Okay. That's a 13. What is all right, well, what is Christopher's Constitution?
15.
15. Okay. You are stunned for a couple of rounds. Basically, like you're just you're swooned, but you're not unconscious. How about How about numbers?
That would be a 16.
A 16. So you're swooned for a round. And how about James? Because he was up there. Christopher.
You already got
Barongo. I'm sorry, Barongo. Yeah, Barongo. A 13.
Sorry, it's 16. I was
A 16. A 16. Okay.
Yep.
A mighty constitution. But not quite mighty enough to not be swooned for a round. So yeah, those of you who are affected kind of stumble and drop to the ground.
Damn it, Milo.
99. He's looking
And
at you as you fall over.
From the group that's over on the other side of the overpass pier, you hear cries of terror. These people are horrified at what they've seen and call out to their fallen fellows. So they will be down in terms of combat until you wish to wake them up. Those of you who are swooned for the number of rounds that I said you are.
What if I smack them? Will that speed that up a little bit?
TJ says, does Gamma World have a bag of holding? It does not. No, basically it takes as long to wear off as it does to wear off, but these that you gassed that did not make it are dead asleep.
All right. Well, they were doing some mumbo jumbo, so I better be safe and sorry. So
Yeah, I don't know what was that stuff.
I throw these guys back in the car, and I've never driven before, but let's try backing out.
This is going to be hilarious. Okay. Roll one.
You was going to go kill him.
Actually, yeah, we have a nuclear device in the car, eh?
In the
Maybe I
trunk.
should
Roll
smash it into
1d10.
trees.
You said you're driving. Roll
All right.
1d10.
2.
A 2. Okay. All right. You're like, well, they push this switch and move
I've
this.
seen them do this before.
Yeah. You can do this. The engine roars to life. You got this. Roll another one.
You also stayed at a Holiday Inn
7.
Express last night.
A 7. Okay.
I also have heightened brain talent, so that's add 4 points to MS, subtract 2 points. Isn't that the same thing as Gerg had?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're rolling -2. So that's a 5.
Yep.
Let me get up to the chart here. Because I swear to God, if those skull and crossbones hit, all the folks back at Stronghold are going to see is a mushroom cloud.
It's too bad they won't know it was us.
All right, so you rolled a 2, and then you rolled a 5. So yeah, it's rolling gently forward now. Roll again.
Nice. This is easy.
Yeah, turbine cars, man.
I rolled an 8, -2 is 6.
Yeah, it's still rolling forward very slowly.
Okay, I'm trying
Straight-
to keep away from trees.
Okay, it's going straight towards the fallen tribesmen, and your friends are in the car. You dragged them over there.
Okay, well, I don't want to run those people over, so
No, that's fine. That's
Can I
fine.
drive around them, or should I get out of the car and kick
Yeah,
them
you
over the
can
ditch?
grab the control yoke and try and move it. You think that does it? Give me another D10 roll.
It's a 7 -2, 5.
You're not sure if you're supposed to engage something because you're kind of moving it back and forth, and it's only moving a little bit.
Well, I'm playing with the radio anyways, so
Distracted drivers are the worst.
He's texting.
All right, roll again.
that's a 4 -2, 2.
Okay, yeah. So you got it. You can ease around these people.
All right, I guess I try to speed up a little bit since I got the hang of it.
Okay, you're putting your foot on the gas and you're going faster now. So I'm going to incur.
Can I roll down the window?
One. Yeah, you can roll down the window. I'm going to incur a +1 on your die roll because you're speeding up in an unfamiliar vehicle. Go ahead, roll it.
That's a 3 minus 2 is 1.
But despite my best attempts to set off the tactical neutron bomb in the trunk, you managed to figure out how the car works. Stop, starts, windows go up, windows go down. Don't run over the tribesmen.
What song's playing on the radio?
You're not sure what the ancients listen to, but whatever it is, it's something like this.
I love this song.
Every radio you've ever encountered in the past has played this.
As long as it doesn't suck me into the TV, I'm fine.
Yeah.
It's still better than He-Man singing "Hey" for 10 hours.
They changed his sword. Did you see that crap? I just bought my kid one for his birthday.
Man.
Nothing surprises me anymore. Okay, so you've managed to figure out how to work there, and just about the time you do that, your companions all wake up. You guys are in a car. You're sort of driving over some bumpy terrain. The tribesmen have run over and have grabbed their fellows and are like throwing themselves prostrate. That's 2 R's, by the way, guys. Throwing themselves prostrate on the ground as your vehicle passes. In supplication, clearly.
What's going on here?
Morning, boys. It's about time you guys slackers get up. I don't know why I never tried this before.
We used to have a term known as WTF. I don't know where it came from, but that's how I'm feeling.
Are there any mirrors to see if my face has been drawn on?
There are shiny bits of chrome still in the car, and as far as you can tell, no one has given you the post-apocalypse post Malone.
So I
I'd
feel
open
okay
up the
then.
window to get the stink out of here.
You made the stink.
What? I don't smell a thing.
All right, so you're kind of going south. You're going under the overpass. The ground here is very rough. You can, like all of you now, are like, as you're going over loose, rocks, rubble, whatever. But you don't hear any ominous beepings from the trunk.
I figured it was one in one of those guys' lap in the backseat. We had that thing bouncing around the trunk.
I thought that's where you guys put it.
Yep.
This is my understanding. You put it in the spare tire well.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, we tied it down too, so if it blows up, it's because we've done something stupid.
Yeah.
We put it on blankets too, I think.
This
Yeah,
is
we
Game
did
World.
first.
I practically insist that you do. Anyway,
So what's the plan? Are we driving back to home base to put this thing in the basement where the stairwell used to be? Or the elevator used to be, I should say.
Or are we going forward to check out what's up ahead?
There was this joke I heard one time. There was a couple cows, right? I say we go down there and mess them all up.
Well, I bet you we could sell this to that friggin' gang of irradiated people.
What's the plan, guys?
I don't know. What do you guys want to do? I'm just driving. Trying to keep my eyes on the road. Don't distract me. I'm already playing with the radio and the window.
Well, get down there. Let's have some fun.
you've got
This song's getting annoying.
you've got a good handle on how to control the car, so you can avoid most of the enormously bumpy spots. And you have a few different paths that will lead you deeper into the city to take.
What was that other song we used to have? Ramblin' Man? Or
It was
about the rock.
the good condition ground vehicle
Yeah.
that is somewhere back at Goodwater or at Stronghold, and its sound system just plays the Allman Brothers Ramblin' Man on a loop.
And the flying car, what happened to that?
It is its constituent atoms somewhere in orbit around the Earth now.
Nice. No more moonwalks. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yet.
Hey, when you ram a rocket, you know.
Who knows? Maybe those androids will come visit us from the moon.
They seemed nice. They're nice. They seem nice.
Well, let's go explore.
Agreed.
Well, we really don't have much of a choice because we don't have a destination. So yeah, let's look for somewhere that looks like it's where we're supposed to be going.
Let's drop this car off somewhere.
Preferably in a nice neighborhood.
Can we like encase it in cement and
So there is you do notice as you're rolling along that the occasionally you see the rusted out hulk of what might be that looks like in neat rows along either sides of the paths that you're going down, what might be the remains of cars of the ancient. You think some of them are flattened, some of them are kind of over on their side, some of them until you get right up close to them you're like, wow, that's completely intact. No it's not, but from a distance it's still got a few patches of its ancient coloration on it. You pass one that's sitting in the middle of a street that you have to drive around it slowly so as not to ram it, and you see 4 skeletons within. They appear to be picked clean.
I don't think they made it.
What if they got any cool stuff in there?
G'day, ma'am. Just keep driving by. Head falls off. I don't know if you guys want to stop. We could stop. All right, let's get out. It's sightseeing's got to stretch my legs anyways.
Hell with it. We walk from here.
Okay.
I'm gonna check out that car, see if there's anything useful in there besides bones.
You know what? I'll give it a chance.
Janie's head falls off in the back seat.
No, it looks like from one side, which is kind of towards the center of the city, it looks like this car was subjected to a terrible scorching heat. The transparency that you still have on your car here looks like it ran like water down the sides. So yeah, there's not much here.
Get that a pickle.
How far are we away from some of the structures that are still standing, of what's left standing anyway?
Maybe a few kilometers away towards the city
We're
center.
Still a good ways away. Well, let's keep moving then, guys.
Sounds good to me.
So you guys are
around these other vehicles on the road? These melted vehicles?
I'd say they're useless.
Yeah, it's the road is starting to get pretty choked off.
Too many cars to push off the side of the road, or
well, you can try.
I don't know, unless you guys want to walk.
I mean, Numbers said we walk from here, and I didn't know if that we were jumping out of the vehicle.
He's carrying the ball first, then.
Strap into my back.
Well, I guess if we have to walk, we have to walk. Be sure to lock the doors and don't forget to grab the keys.
Okay. We didn't stick nothing in the trunk.
Well,
An tactical nuke.
Well, it's just a bundle of furs at this point, right? As far as anybody
Mhm,
knows.
Yeah.
It's just a little warm to the touch. That's all.
We should put googly eyes on it so they think it's an animal and stay away. Yeah, let's. I guess we get out and start hoofing.
First person that grows an extra arm gets to carry it longer.
I got 3 legs.
so just so we're clear, you guys are taking this with you, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
We are?
Okay.
Okay. I guess it doesn't matter where it's at when stupid stuff happens. So yeah, okay. Whatever. At least the people that causes pain are punished.
All over in a flash.
Okay, so immediately striking out from the car, the clearest way is actually kind of in a straight line from the car that was sitting in the middle of the street, where you can see that buildings have been flattened, blasted, and burnt. And it looks like for some distance, at least maybe a kilometer towards the city center, you've got kind of an open path in front of you.
Looks like a great place for an ambush, guys. I'm gonna keep my eyes peeled on the upper portions there as we're walking through there.
Did you say that thing was wrapped
Absolutely.
up in furs or clothes?
Furs.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah, it's furs
Like,
that we.
too bad that Yaxel wouldn't fly by. You could take the whole thing. We need some
I'll
clothes.
be watching the left side with my crossbow drawn.
Yep.
Okay. Milo, you've got the ultravision, right?
No, it's me.
It's
Bronco.
Barongo.
Sorry, Barongo.
Yep.
Yeah, as you're walking along Barongo, you're like, man, that sunrise is really making me blink. Wait, we're not walking in the right direction for the morning sun to be getting in my eyes.
What?
And it's starting to get really warm.
Oh, jeez.
And you guys are noticing that like the metal you're passing looks like it's melted like candle wax. There's no weeds poking up through the ground here. That's about, you've gone about half a kilometer, and in front of you, you can see that the ground is kind of rippled, and there's the lip of a crater about 500 meters directly in front of you. What
You still have
is
that black friggin' radiation badge thingy?
Oh, yeah.
And what's that doing?
Oh, it's all the way black.
Yikes, back up.
Okay, everybody, starting with Christopher. What is your constitution?
15.
15 for Christopher. You suffer 5 points of damage. What is Barongo's constitution?
It's 16.
16. Take 4 points. How about numbers?
16.
4 points. And finally, Milo.
13. I'm getting a new appendage.
7 points of radiation damage. Yeah, you guys can taste like metal.
Tastes like burning.
Yeah, it's time to turn around. I think we'll go the other way.
Yeah. Go back to the car.
Okay, guys, keep your eyes peeled. You start seeing like big black circles. Like, tell me.
But the good news is you guys now have a salted bomb. It's dirtier now. It's an even worse nuclear weapon. But yeah, you suspect it was probably that it was probably Barongo's ultravision that saved you there.
Okay.
Could have been worse, I guess. Mutant plant.
So you can go. I mean, there are other directions to go. I'm just saying, when you lit out in that direction, you encountered the deadly crater, which would make a great supervillain name for a Heroes system campaign. By the way, the deadly crater.
Time to circle to the right or to the left.
Does anybody have a coin?
Yeesh.
I'll defeat you, heroes, and that's the whole truth.
A coin? What the hell's a coin?
Yeah, what sorcery is this?
You know,
A
a Domar.
Oh,
A
a
bottle
Domar.
cap. Oh yeah, a Domar. You guys know what coins are. You have Domars and gold pieces. So.
Domar Agato.
Okay, flip it.
Yeah, flip a coin.
Yeah, catch it. We're going left.
1 through 3 is heads. 4 through 6 is tails. I rolled a 4. So if tails is left, then there you go.
I guess we got tails. Let's go left.
All right. Okay, so you are giving a wide berth to the to the radioactive crater, and you walk for perhaps an hour. You don't encounter anything. You have to duck through ruined buildings and duck under piles of rubble and so on. Who's carrying the bomb, by the way?
I think Numbers said he was taking it.
Yeah.
Numbers-
I was joking about it, but yeah.
Okay, well, no, I'm just pointing out, with the ropes and everything, carrying it, handling it is not a problem. It's just heavy. Going is very slow. This thing weighs about 40 kilograms. The sun hasn't quite started to cross the tops of all the ruined buildings in the distance, and you've just got sweat pouring down you.
Yeah, and if we're talking about what I said being the reality of it, I strapped it to my back.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and that's fine. I'm just letting you know it is heavy.
We could always cut down like a
Right.
sapling and tie the furs around to the middle and carry it like that on a shoulder.
You could cut the bomb in half,
No.
and each of you carry part of it.
Quartered up. There's 4 of us.
Yeah,
Come
let's
on.
not do that.
That's
Somebody
the
give me an
wisdom of
ounce.
Solomon.
Well, as far as saplings go, yeah, there are none.
All right.
Are there any metal poles or anything laying around?
That there's plenty of. Yeah, there's lots of crumpled bits here.
Yeah, we want to
Try to
try
find
that.
something suitable.
Couple of pipes. Cut them off with a vibro blade or whatever.
Oh yeah, your vibroblades, wimp.
Yeah.
And you can make a
Get me one of them.
am I saying this right? A travois?
Pretty close, yeah.
Yeah.
Trevor,
Or a litter. If you don't want to drag it behind you, you can make a full litter for 2 people to carry. All right, so constructing that takes about a half an hour. Nothing untoward happens. Rubble does choke the streets and alleys and pavements and whatnot, but there's enough left of the buildings that you can still kind of make the general grid of the street out as you move towards the center. With 2 people carrying, this is a lot less onerous. I mean, all 4 of you could carry it, and then you'd all be only really doing the work of carrying an extra 20 pounds. So,
And all be susceptible to surprise enemy attack.
We should check a couple of these buildings out. I mean, when are we going to be?
I wasn't gonna do that, but
since you mentioned it,
now that you bring it up,
thanks a lot, Numbers.
That's what I'm here for.
Mr. Sylvie, you forgot to give us a quiz before we left for Christmas break. Why, thank you, Doom Sword. Everybody sit back down, open your books.
Roman numerals. Who needs those? How are we
And
gonna know your
soap and
favorite
socks
movies?
with the rocks. Soap and socks for everyone.
At least I'm ready to defend myself.
All right. So, yeah, it takes you some time to do that, and you continue on for another couple of kilometers, and you can now see you're actually starting to enter the shadow of the taller of the structures. You're just kind of going on. Did someone say something about entering one of the nearby buildings? Let me ask you that.
I was saying we should check a couple of these out. I mean, when are we ever going to be back here?
True.
With that crater over there, never.
Come on, a crater that's remained lethally radioactive for like 75 years. That can't be bad. I'm sure it'll switch off in a couple of days, right?
Yeah, it's
It
only
was only
cobalt.
hot way over there.
Yeah.
Cobalt isn't bad, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a how can something such a pretty sky blue color be dangerous? I ask you.
It's not
Yeah,
dangerous when
we
it's
should
in your
definitely
Tesla.
search around.
All right, so looking around inside the rune, let's see if you find anything interesting, or if anything interesting finds you. It's a clothing store. You see the fattest Yexel you've ever met. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just gonna sit right here. Y'all come in, help yourselves. Gotta do that. Have like a nice portly southern redneck Yexel encounter you guys.
That would be kind of making fun of me.
We've met, so it's me too. So don't even.
Well, I think we both had jorts on.
We're Floridians, of course. We had jorts on. It's our state uniform. For those of you from out of state,
I got my fingers in my ears.
As soon as you leave Valdosta, you'll see it's like a truck weighing station. You'll pull over. They'll take your size and give you 3 pairs of jorts. That's just how it works down here.
So jorts are to shorts like jarts are to darts? I'm trying to figure out what that means.
Cargo shorts. Cargo shorts.
Okay, that's what a jort is? Okay, no clue.
Yeah, jean, short. Just ran together.
Oh, okay.
All right, so let's see. In this building, it's so funny that Jim chose this name for these things. So a voice calls from out of the darkness as you enter the room. He calls out, "Da, what is the countersign? Approach and be recognized. Squad leader, report in."
Is Face taking care of this?
Yeah, if nobody does anything, I'm going to do some stujitsu to see if that helps.
Some stujitsu.
You know, Mo, Larry, Curly,
Okay.
big fingers, you know.
Scanning the area to see what just said that to us. Do we see anybody or anything?
On the bottom floor, at least towards the back, you can now see somebody. It looks like they're wearing like a heavy body armor. He's bald and he has got a he's got a weapon of some kind. Looks like a weapon of the ancients leveled at you.
Friends, that's what I'm worried about. Like scan the area, see if there's any more of them.
I'm just holding my hands up with my palms forward.
All right.
Just travelers. Sorry to intrude.
I'm sorry. What's your what's your charisma?
Chris's charisma is a 17.
So,
Nice.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was high.
He kind of raises his chin and makes the most convoluted series of hand motions. And you hear very light footsteps. There's two more fellows that appear to be outfitted the same he is, that one drops out of a hole in the ceiling. Apparently there's 2 floors, or there's the remain of a second floor above you, and the other like leans out of some kind of ruined container right behind you guys. And they are wearing, they are tattered. Well, they have been repaired heavily, and they're like a faded dark green. The one that's facing you, the one that you initially saw, has some kind of medallions of black metal fixed to the breast, the right breast, and the upper sleeves of this of his outfit. And you realize, looking at him, he's not wearing armor. He's got like almost like an insect-like carapace.
Oh boy.
It's going to be like, wow, that's pretty impressive. You guys are like a well-oiled machine. But I mean, like, we were just looking around, guys. There's like no need for that.
Yeah.
He nods and gestures to the other two, and you hope the one behind you lowers his weapon. He says, "I am Jorad, controller of this zone. Why are you here?"
As I said, we are just merely traveling through the area. We're exploring.
We saw some relatively intact buildings. We thought, hey, there's got to be some good stuff in there. You know.
I see.
Well, everybody does. But we didn't realize you were here. And like I said, that's pretty impressive. You guys are like a well-oiled machine. Like, maybe you get like... any more of you around here? I take a look around.
You are seeing all whom you need to see. What is the burden you carry?
Well, it's a heavy load.
He draws himself up.
We don't have a privy, so...
Perhaps you would like to lighten us of this burden.
Kind of raises his eyebrow and says,
we run really fast that way.
let's see for just a second here. You know, he arches an eyebrow and says, like, he doesn't speak, but in your mind, you get this flash of images, and you have occasionally seen ancient books with pictures in them. That's what you're getting, like this rapid fire of different huge explosion clouds. And he finally speaks and says, "Yes, you have a death weapon of the ancients with you, a most powerful one. And you took it from the batters on the outskirts of this zone, did you not?"
How did you know that?
Read my mind.
They kind of abandoned it. But yeah, effectively.
Well, you
Possession is 9/10 of the law.
I appreciate beings who understand the law. Do you wish to dispose of this device?
Perhaps we could do some trading.
My aide-de-camp, Urquan, will show you our supplies.
Not Urquan of the Urquan Masters, I hope.
Yeah, I didn't want to. Yeah, no, it's it's like throbbing brain, floating green squid guy. Launch fighters. God, I love StarCon. What a great game that was. No. He by the way, the connection there, boys and girls, Errol Otis did artwork for StarCon.
Cool.
So if you look through the credits, he did the Siren. That was the Siren were a creation of Errol Otis's in Urquan, as well as the Spathy, and I think a few other ones. So he's got a couple of med kits. He's willing to trade some. Yang wants you guys to use this. Like James Franciscus in the end of Beneath the Planet of the Apes. He's got some prepackaged foods. You've seen those like back at your base, and you know that it can be very hit or miss. Sometimes they're like, wow, this is amazing. This is like the richest, most best tasting food ever. And there are other times you open it and it's mold.
Earthy.
Was like,
What about a laser rifle?
He holds up his hands and says, normally we would not trade any weapons. However, this is a most potent death device that you have.
Ooh.
Not for all the power cells they have.
I wouldn't mind a nice suit of armor.
Okay, they don't have armor. They're willing to trade ammunition, some power cells, up to 20 power cells.
Ooh.
Is what they have to trade, or a blaster rifle for the ancient death device.
What if I throw in this crossbow?
They'll give you a couple of prepackaged meals for that.
Man, this is a tough crowd.
Yeah, it's gonna be hot dogs. 1998.
Be a vomlet. For those of you that served, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I only know it by reputation. I did not stand the watch, but I have heard of the infamous vomlet. Give us a shout out in the chat if you know what I'm talking about with the vomlet.
Just speaking to my friends quietly, I was like, do we want to give this guy the goods? I mean, can we trust him to at least wait until we leave?
Yeah, I wondered the same thing. It really depends on what they come back with, I guess. How are you all equipped? I mean, I got this vibroblade.
Yeah.
It's good.
That's all I've got is a vibroblade and that blaster, or that laser pistol with one charge left in it.
Right. I got no
Laser
ranged
rifle with
weapons
3
outside of
power
this
packs.
crossbow.
So I'm saying we trade for every power pack they have, and we just like
Yeah, we need the
Tiptoe
power
away from
packs
here.
and the rifle.
Yeah.
If
They are
don't wanna do
they
it,
are offering you all the they are offering you all the power packs they're willing to trade.
Right.
But like when they said 20, they have 20.
That's what they have. Okay.
Yeah, that's what they're showing you.
Yeah, do they got 20 they're going to give us plus the food, plus the rifle?
Are you asking for that out loud?
Yeah, I'm asking for that out loud. I'm
All right.
demanding it.
Oh, okay. You drive a hard bargain, human.
It's
But
a
if I
fair
am to-
bargain.
It is a fair bargain. If I am to protect my people, strengthen my command, and further my control of this zone, then the ancient death weapon will be most helpful. Very well.
Yeah, well, I still have to ask my friends. Sorry.
Hey, their zone doesn't overlap our zone, does it?
He said zone. You're not sure if he means this building, this block, this city, everything the sun touches, you know.
What do you think?
Well, it's either take what they've got or keep carrying this thing around and possibly setting it off.
Yeah, I'd almost rather them set it off somewhere because there's a
We've
better
already
chance
got-
we're
we've
going to
already
be
got
away
one
from
crater.
it. Yeah.
What's another one?
Yeah, hell with this thing. Yeah, it sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no arguments. I don't like carrying this thing around.
All right. Deal. Spit in your hand and
I'll give them my metal spears too. Here you are. These are true.
All right.
weapons of the
It's,
ancients.
all right. Well, no, those are weapons of the last Thursday. But okay, so you guys now have a Mark. What is this? You have a Mark 7 rifle, and this thing is like, it is very well maintained. It is worn because it's, 100 years old, but it requires 2 hydrogen energy cells, and you get 5 shots. It does 8d6 out to 225 meters. And if it hits a person and kills them, that person then has a 10 centimeter hole in it. If the target does not have a force shield or is inanimate, it also punches a hole in it. Oh, I'm sorry. No, it does not cause 10 centimeter holes in living creatures until they are no longer living. It just does 8 points of damage. It is very heavy. It takes some getting used to. Now, who's taking it?
I was going to ask that too. And I'll take, if somebody wants to take it, and I'll take whatever weapon they had, I'm cool with that. I guess maybe somebody who has the best strength, huh?
Yeah, my strength's only 9, my physical strength.
I mean, and anyone can wield it. It's a bulky weapon. It's not going to be like, oh, you're at -1 or anything like that when you're trying to shoot it.
Who wants it?
Who's got the best chance of hitting targets with it? Who's got the best dex? I've got 12.
I have an 18.
being here.
Well, it sounds like numbers is the best one for the job there then.
Yeah, I got 11, so.
Does that give everybody else a ranged laser weapon as well?
I've got a laser pistol with the extra power packs, then I'm good to go with it.
Right. I suppose I'll take that if there's nobody else who wants it instead.
Okay. Rolled up and secured by elastic bands to the buttstock of this thing is some kind of crumbling yet still intact and still holding together script of the ancients. If you want to spend a couple of hours reading it, I will give you a -2 on your learn to use this die roll. If you want to just go for it, just roll across the chart. It's an energy weapon, so it's chart A. It's not terrible, but
I say you check it out while we're in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, can we got time
hightail
to
it
look
back
at
to the
this?
car.
I mean, I might be able to suss it out, but I can't be sure.
okay.
What do you think, guys? I got time.
Oh yeah.
All right, I'll read it then.
Okay, the cryptic words on the front. You can read the words of the ancient. It's just kind of what did they mean? It says FM 113 Mark 7 blaster, heavy, energy, ionizing, and just launches into a rather lengthy technical description of it that you don't understand. When you get to the illustrations and whatnot, you start to get a handle on it. So you can roll me some dice. You're subtracting 2 from your D10 roll. And it still blew him up, guys.
That would be a 3.
Okay, yeah. You clap the power packs into a dual holder and then fit it into the stock in the rear. You got that down, Pat.
All right.
You got 2 green lights.
All right. 6.
A 6 total.
Yes.
Okay, you're not sure what you need to do next. As I said, the text is a little dense.
All right, I'll keep screwing with it, I suppose.
All right.
That's a -1.
Okay, yes. Oh, yes, right. Safety off. Click.
All right. Anything more to be figured out about this?
It doesn't have the little button that laser weapons seem to put your finger on. There is a grip stock, but you're not sure, like, do I squeeze my whole hand? Do I push with my thumb? Do I put my finger somewhere? So one more check.
0.
Yes, you've got it. You just cross your thumb over and there's a push button with your thumb.
Excellent.
Because defense contractors will find a way to make something harder than it needs to be.
Just like you, Modus.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, you now have a Mark 7 blaster rifle. You guys have got 20 hydrogen cells. You've got a couple of food packets. And you may continue on.
And no bright lights coming from behind us.
No bright lights coming from behind. No sudden flash, and you feel a wave of heat, and I'll take a strength 18 radiation burst or anything.
All right. Cool. We made the right choice, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what we were here for anyway? Why did we come?
We were just exploring this area.
Well, no.
Stop, because there was a couple of intact buildings. We were like, when are we ever... Well, I was like, when are we ever going to be back?
Right, but we came here because we were looking for some stuff. A group of people for the androids, right?
Yeah.
Came so I can tell you.
I guess we could have asked these guys if they'd seen some androids lately.
That would have been a good idea.
Yeah. You should have brought this up earlier.
Yes, we could have. Yes. Okay. Well.
So you're,
sorry. How do we want to split up those hydrogen cells? What, we got 20 of them?
Yeah, that's what is it, 4 apiece? That's
yeah, I mean, I've got 3 right now. I don't know what you guys have, but if we can even them out, that'll probably be most helpful.
Right.
Throw them in the trunk with the smokes, and we're good.
I mean, we probably don't want to carry that many around with us normally anyway, right?
Right.
So. Need to set up a quartermaster at the ranch.
So where was the android supposed to be at in relation to where we are now? Did we have any?
Well, you did see some when you guys were standing on the broken overpass looking into the city. You could faintly see some movements. You thought more towards the center of the city.
Okay, so do we want to head back to the car, or do we want to head more towards the center of the city?
Well, I mean, we got to figure this out for the Sleeth, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. I think we want to... Well, we couldn't get the car into town anyway, right?
Right.
Driving.
Oh, so we're getting into the car and leaving?
Yeah, I figure we got to put this place in our rear views, don't you think?
Well, I thought we were going to go look for the robots or androids or whatever.
Yeah, let's check it all out.
Yeah, the whole point was just to help the Sleeth, right? Because they're getting attacked by those androids.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, are super nasty, I noticed. I'm good for whatever. How do you guys want to do it?
Let's look.
Same here.
Can we get around where those guys were that we just encountered?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
You can go right instead of left. You ran into them when you went left of the crater.
Well, let's circle around to the right then, guys.
Okay.
All right, so it is early afternoon. The sun is crested overhead. You pick your way through the rubble. You're not encountering anything. When you step out of a gap between two buildings, you know, your legs are tired because you've been walking on completely uneven ground. It's choked with rubble here and again, taking constant scrapes, kicking up dust. That can't be healthy. Tripping over things, sweat's pouring off of you. But when you step around a corner, like, you literally have to look back where you came from and then look at this to believe what you're seeing. From this point forward, the streets are clear. The buildings that are completely destroyed, the places where they stood, are cleaned off. Except in a few cases, there are rusted metal beams still sticking up, but there's no rubble around them. There are buildings that are less destroyed that look like they've undergone at least some repair. And if you could have gotten your vehicle through this ruin to this point, you could now be driving it, but you couldn't have gotten it through. There is a neatly painted sign of metal between two beams that stick up out, and it's lettered very large and common. It says, "Food Trading Medical, 500 meters ahead to the right. All persons welcome." please, and under that it says, please do not present weapons as you approach.
I don't know. Anybody been here before?
Not I.
Anybody heard of this place
Damn
before?
sure I ain't presenting my weapons.
Is there any place where we can seek cover just to stay out of sight of anything?
Actually, I mean, you could duck into a doorway, but as far as just like some spot on the street or something, actually not. Because like I said, this place is cleaned up. It's not pre-war, don't get me wrong. Like the street's still cracked and the half-destroyed buildings are still half destroyed. It's just that any loose rubble that was choking the streets has been cleaned up, and it looks like at least some effort to repair some of the buildings has gone on.
Probably want to duck somewhere and just kind of scope things out. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
I'm with Chris.
Yeah, we're going to duck into like one of the buildings or one that doesn't look like it's occupied, hopefully.
Okay. The building you duck into, it has no roof. It's crisscrossed inside with metal beams. Everything. This has been picked clean.
All right. Well, that makes it easy to see if there's anybody else in here. It's vacant.
I'm just going to go down the line. What is Christopher's mental strength?
10.
10. Give me a D20 roll.
20. A 10.
Okay, you catch some motion out of the corner of one eye, very high up on the wall, which you suspect was probably a second floor to this place. It's attached to a beam.
Does it look like some sort of device or a creature or what?
It does look like a device. It's about the size of a melon from a garden. It is painted a brownish color to match the rusted beam that it's attached to. But what caught your eye was there's a shining blade or almost like an insect's antenna sticking out of it. The spherical item that's facing you, there is a dark spot. You can't help but think it looks kind of like an eye, and it is looking straight at where you're at.
Can I chuck my axe at it?
You certainly can. Give me a go ahead and give me a D20 roll. We'll see if it matters.
D20. Ooh, a big 7. Yay.
Yeah, just clank. Your axe clatters on the floor.
Okay. Does it do anything when I throw the axe?
It moves slightly as you kind of lean out to throw it. It kind of moves to keep the dark spot on it focused on you, but otherwise, no.
I look back at everybody. What do you think, guys? Looks like something's watching us.
Yes.
You want me to blast it?
Well, it didn't try to fight back when I threw my axe, so I don't know what we should do about it. But it's obvious something's watching us.
Well, we could hide.
Can we hide from the thing?
Well, I mean, it's looking at all of you standing there in the building, so no.
Blast it.
All right, hell with it. I'll shoot it with my new weapon.
All right, give me a D20 roll.
That's a 17.
That's a 17. I'm not even going to bother because that will absolutely hit it. There's this kind of just this very faint hum and crack that are almost simultaneous. And yeah, this thing was not 10 centimeters in diameter. So sticky globs of fiberglass, metal, circuitry, and so on just kind of spatter on the back wall at supersonic speeds. It's like, pow! There's the acrid smell of melted electronics.
I guess that's that.
Yeah.
I'm going to go pick up my axe, and I'm going to look around for any more of those things that might be peeping on us.
That was the only one you saw. That was the only one of note in the structure.
Okay. Is there a way to get up higher in the building and look out over the rest of the area?
You'd have to try and climb a sheer surface. You could certainly give it a shot if you wanted.
Do we want to move to a different place then, guys, or do we want to try to scope it out from here?
I'm following your lead.
Yeah, but just if you want to go to another place, cool. Otherwise, however you want.
Well, just across the street from this is a building that's a little more intact in that it has a roof on it, but where a door would be is completely open.
And this building has no roof, you were saying?
Yes, this building has
looking up to the sky right now. All right.
Yes, the early mid-afternoon sky.
Well, as long as nobody's coming to check out us snuffing out that eyeball thingy, I say we get the hell out of here.
Now, I am your president. Sorry, Fallout 3 joke there.
Who's got the best shot here? I guess it's numbers, isn't it?
Well, it's a strong shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it's a Mark 7 blaster rifle, accuracy is not.
Keep me covered. I'm going to go check out that other building.
All right, will do.
Yeah, me too, man.
I want to try to slip across the street without being spotted if I can.
All right. Nobody comes and jumps out at you. So
okay, I'm gonna peek around inside the doorway there before I step in. I'm not going to just walk into the place. I'm going to kind of peek around the edge of the door frame and just look inside.
It's much like this when it is stripped bare. There's a few stubs of metal fixtures coming out of the floor and the wall, but nothing else of note.
Okay, I'm going to look for one of those big eyeball things.
Give me a mental strength check.
RD20. Another 10.
Yes, there is one. It is in the shadows, but it is lower down, and it looks like it would see anyone who came in the door, like you.
Well, I'm not going through the door, so.
Okay.
Is there any other entrance to this building? A window or?
Yes, there are windows and whatnot.
Okay. Does it look like it would have a clear vantage of one of the windows or all of the windows or whatever?
Not well. The two on either side of the door. Actually, they're very broad. You kind of get the idea that maybe this was some kind of trading spot of the ancients or something where they would display many wares or want people to see in. So it's got kind of a good panorama, occasionally interrupted by structural bits. But on the sides of the building, windows and what you presume are probably doorways are not in its immediate arc.
I'm going to check out one of those. See if I can get inside through one of those.
Okay. Yeah, it's quite easy.
Okay. We'll take another look and make sure there's not another eye in this area.
Give me a roll. What are the rest of you doing while he's splitting the party?
I'm looking down the street both directions to see if anybody's approaching because we shot their stuff.
No.
I'm covering them.
No one does.
I got a 15 on that check.
Yeah, you don't see anything untoward.
Okay, I'll try to slip in.
Okay, you're standing in the building, and
when I see him go in, can I like bring up the rear there and run up to the doorway entrance?
sure. The doorway entrance that he went to first, or the one that he just ducked in.
The one he just ducked in.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Thank you.
And how about Barongo and Milo?
Yeah, if there's nobody coming, I don't think we should stay in this building over here. So I asked Milo, do you think you want to go over there and meet up with those guys before somebody shows up, or you think we're better off just staying put?
I think Milo followed me over there.
Oh, did? Okay. Well, then I'll go over there as well.
Well, now you're by yourself.
Yeah, I don't want to be by myself, so I'm going to go across the street. I'll go
All
to
right.
the door he recently went in, not the first one, because I don't care about that place.
Okay. Since you're still the first one going in there, James, give me a mental strength check again.
RD20. Ooh, a 2.
Yeah, you could see it. It turns fairly quickly to point at the door you guys just came in. It's looking right at you.
We'll go ahead and check my accident.
Oh, so you have 2 axes?
Well, yeah. I picked up the one that I threw at the eye there.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I do have 2, by the way.
Okay, that's fine. Go ahead and make your 2-hit roll.
I got a 14.
A 14. What do you know what class your axe is off the top of your head? I think it's a 3.
It's actually
Axes, it's a 2.
Yeah, it's a 2.
2.
Okay. By dint of size, not by toughness, it is kind of difficult to hit. You rolled a what?
14.
2. You rolled a 14. That is actually enough to connect with it. Roll your damage for axe, which would be this is man size or smaller, so 1 to 8.
Oh, 1 to 8. I thought
Sweet.
it was 6. Okay, well, let me re-roll that then.
I'm just chucking a rocket to that one.
6 points.
Yeah, so your axe chunks into it, and it sparks, but it is still like jerkily, but following your motions as you recoil after throwing the axe.
And how high up is it?
It's not very high. It's like think like 8-foot ceiling, trestle or beam. So yeah, it is a few meters inside though. So 2.5.
So you'd have to run in.
Yeah,
to
2.5 meter ceiling, but it's like maybe 3 meters in.
I'll wait a moment. If nobody does anything, I'll run over there and try to jump at it with my vibroblade.
Anyone? Bueller? Anyone?
I guess I could stab at it with my sword. Got a long sword also.
Okay, you'll have to move into melee with it, but you can do that.
Yeah, I'll step forward and stab at it or swing at it.
All right. Well, you just threw your axe. So let's go over numbers. We'll strike at it first, but you can follow him up. Are Milo or Barongo going to do anything to the spy cam?
Is there any rocks or debris kicking around?
There is not.
I don't want to waste a
Not even a
on it.
pebble.
You could run back over to the other building and grab some of the debris from that eyeball that we destroyed a minute ago. If there's any,
Yeah.
Yeah, just throw this paper clip sized and weighted bit of electronics board at the thing. Click.
We should have kept that bomb.
I guess they just
for a
blasted
hit.
with this shot.
All right, roll it.
All right. I'll probably miss. That's a natural one.
oh,
Yeah,
Yes.
so, yeah. You're unlimbering your gun and crack. Oh man.
Man, we should just climb up there and smash it with the butt of the
Yeah,
gun.
that's. Does a laser rifle have a stock that's durable enough to use as a weapon?
I mean, in extremis, but yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's probably what I'll run up there and try to smash it with my rifle butt.
Roll it.
All right. Where is the? There it is.
If you roll a natural 1, you literally throw your laser rifle out the window.
I got a 6, so I didn't do that.
Okay.
I just missed.
Yeah, exactly. You're the worst pinata player ever.
And I don't even
All
have.
right,
a
I'll
blindfold.
cut
You
the
don't
thing
even
with
have
the
a blindfold.
blade.
All right, go ahead and roll it.
That's an 8, and that's a weapon class 5.
5 and an 8. I think that's probably going to do it, and minimum damage on that is enough. Let me just double check. So that's 8 total. Wow. Yeah. No, you actually missed it.
oh.
All right, Christopher,
Man.
you're going to save the party from the evil spy cam.
I'll try.
Poke it with your finger.
Hang on. Oh, roll a big 9. No, I didn't do it.
Dice are not our friends.
Yeah, it's turning to follow you guys as you're running in, and it's still got your axe sticking in it. So it's like I don't want to cut my axe in half. So you're
Well, it's a good thing because it doesn't have a speaker. They'd be laughing at us right now.
Who says they're not sitting in the control room? No, wait. Here comes another. What? Wait. What? Oh! You owe me 2 Nomars, man. Come on.
Yeah. We'll just keep trying to.
Yeah, I'll just like let somebody like climb on my back and like throw a sheet over it.
Well, I've got it with the vibroblade again.
It's not like
All right.
trying to get away from us or anything, is it? It's just sitting
No, it's just sitting there. It's a small. It's just
We're
this
just
big,
idiots.
Just have to hit it.
2.5 meters off the floor.
Can I reach up and pull it down, grab it, and just pull it off the thing?
Yeah, I mean you can grab onto it if you want. Give me a D20 roll.
Okay.
It's armor class 4 is what you guys, just because it's small.
Got an 11.
11.
Closer.
You grab onto it, but like whatever securing it to the beam is tight. It's not budging.
Yeah.
Man.
And when you guys are physically exhausted from trying to take this camera down, then 300 batters show up.
I was just gonna moon it.
You hear a resounding crack.
Well, if Christopher lets go of it, I'll hack it again or try.
Yeah,
to.
I'll let it go. I'll move out of the way. I'll pull my
Just let-
axe out of it.
Just let go of Christopher. Let him pull it off the wall.
Yeah.
Die, beast! Oh, I got a 20.
Yay.
Zitch. And roll again. Same armor class. Roll your D20 again.
What, he cut through the wall?
Oh, sorry, I was muted.
Oh, it's
That's a 6.
a 6. There's 5. You do not cut his axe in half. Which 25 points of the vibro blade versus a piece of machined steel absolutely would have cut it in half. So, yeah, it sparks once fitfully, and you've cloven it in half, and your axe is now free on the floor.
Okay, I'll pick it up.
All right.
Well, if they didn't know we were here, they surely do now.
Nah.
And they know we're not very good warriors.
We're not very good at anything.
Hey, I slipped. That's all.
So going to a pinata party with Ray Charles.
He would have been better than us.
Okay, well, let's explore what we've got here. Let's look around the building. You said there was nothing on this floor.
There's nothing on this floor. You can see all the way up to the inside of the top of the ceiling, because again, if it had a second floor, which it probably did, it is missing.
So there's absolutely nothing in this building. It's just a hole.
Correct.
Okay. Well, shall we move to another building?
Is
Sure,
there?
why not?
The bad news is I don't know how to trace this back to where they're at.
Yeah, there's probably
Okay.
no androids here.
The good news is you hear a voice call out from somewhere outside. Hello, travelers.
That's good news.
Yeah.
As long as it's not mapped to the Stars Eddy, I'm good.
Yeah.
Talking to you.
I'm gonna go peek out the window. Not stick my head out, but just kind of peek around the end there.
Okay, there is a group of humans. They are wearing ponchos or robes of some kind. Several of them have weapons, although they're carrying them, loosely, not pointing them at you. And there is some kind of small ground vehicle in the midst. There appear to be about 8 or 9 of them. The ground vehicle is open-topped and has very large fat tires and an orange body. It's a buggy of some kind that looks like it holds maybe 2 or 3. And they are kind of in a sort of crescent shape. As you look out, they're sort of walking out, and the vehicle is slowly pulling up behind. And that is where we're going to leave on that cliffhanger tonight, guys.
Okay.
All right.
And we will pick this up. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Now we don't know if they're nice or bad or
Exactly.
a whole week to bring a mullet over and
We'll find out next week
open
if
fire
they're
on them as soon as we get here.
if they're decent people or if they're Cylons. But anyway, thank you everyone for sitting in tonight. I hope you enjoyed listening to this this wonderful little diversion here as my players, my explorers, my seekers continue to comb the wastelands of Gamma World. As I said, we will be back Monday with some more classic AD&D module deep dive on Hidden Shrine of Tamachan. Tuesday night, we will be back playing some first edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. Wednesday night is Classic Traveler. That's all evening. Kyle Brooks, no preamble. We'll just jump right into it when we get kicked off there. Thursday night, we'll just see what happens Thursday night. But then next Friday, we find out what they found or what found them. Until then, folks, thank you for being here. Be good and have an absolutely wonderful evening.
Good night.
Peace.
Thanks.
Good night, all.